In yesterday's game, they lost after leading late into the ball game, and they gave up a 3-spot in the bottom of the 8th inning. Today it'll be Devin Travis leading off, and Travis is swinging a red-hot bat. He's enjoying an 11-game hit streak, and when you look at where he stands in Major League and OPS, he's in some pretty heavy company.
No one, and I mean no one in baseball, saw this coming for Devin Travis. These are some of the best sluggers in all of baseball. Adrian Gonzalez of the Dodgers, Adam Jones, Joey Votto, Nelson Cruz, and right in the middle of them, Devin Travis. Well, how's he doing it? He's doing it because he's hitting the ball where it's pitched. Drew Smyly tries to come in with a fastball, and you can see how quick his hands are to get through the bat, through the barrel, and the zone for the home run. And if you pitch him away, he shoots the ball the other way. He can hit the ball where it's pitched, and right now we've seen him handle just about everything. Fastball, slider, changeup, anything the pitcher has to offer. Devin Travis with that short swing has been outstanding.
Blue Jays lost last night. They scored 2 runs and had the lead going into the bottom of the 8th inning, but lost it 4-2. Let's take a look at the lineup. As we mentioned, Reyes is out of the lineup. Travis is in the leadoff spot, and he's got that 11-game hit streak. 9 extra base hits and 13 driven in during that 11-game streak. Justin Smoke, he has decent numbers against Chris Archer. 3 for 7 with 3 RBI. Smoke is in the 5th spot. Blue Jays lineup needs to get something going, and they're in tough against a tough righty.
They certainly are. Chris Archer is on quite a roll right now. He's not allowed an earned run since the 6th inning of opening day. This is his 5th start of the season. That's 19 2/3 innings that he has thrown up there scoreless. In his career, he's seen a lot of the Toronto Blue Jays. He's 3-1 with an ERA just under 3. 10 career starts versus the Blue Jays. That's the most career starts against any team that he has faced. And he was dazzling the first time they saw him back at Rogers Center this year.
Last time out, he went 5 2/3 and lost 1-0 to the Boston Red Sox. It's the 5th time he has started a game where the score ended up 1-0. Defensively in the outfield, it's Brandon Guyer. Kevin Kiermaier is in center. Steven Souza is in right. Evan Longoria had a good day at the plate, good day in the field yesterday. Tim Beckham starts at shortstop. Forsythe was the first baseman to start last night's game. He's at second. James Loney back in the lineup at first. And Rene Rivera was teamed up with Chris Archer today.
This is the best fielding team in the American League. They've only committed 5 errors. No Desmond Jennings this afternoon. He had to leave last night's game with a knee injury. So Kevin Kiermaier, the left-handed hitter, will get the start in center field. And he is as good as Jennings, maybe even better.
He can absolutely fly. He is in the lineup. Chris Archer is set. Devin Travis is in the batter's box. Here's the first pitch of the game. It's in there for a strike, and we are underway. .383 average. That's good for 3rd best in the American League. Pops this one out of play into the seats. Travis has hit 9th, 2nd, and leadoff so far this year. And he looks to me to be one of those guys that might eventually hit 3rd in the lineup.
He's looked good in every place that he has put him. John Gibbons has tried him everywhere, and he hasn't changed his approach. That's what I like about this young player.
Trying to ride that fastball up. They missed and got away with a mistake. Don't you love it when pitchers say, well, I only made a mistake maybe once or twice all game long. They were trying to go upstairs and missed with the fastball, and let Travis have a pretty good hack.
I think the only reason they did that was to set up the slider right here. That was a devastating pitch that he used against the Blue Jays back at Rogers Center.
Last time out against the Red Sox, he didn't have that slider till about the 4th inning. And it was still a 1-0 game, and the only run that the Red Sox scored was an unearned run on an error by the second baseman. There's that slider. There's the first strikeout of the afternoon.
You know, if you look into the numbers for Chris Archer, when he jumps ahead of a hitter 0-1 like he did against Devin Travis, he has finished him off now 25 times. 25 of his 31 strikeouts have resulted after a 0-1 count. So the Blue Jays, I think, should be a little bit more aggressive early in the count.
Try to hit that fastball. Russell Martin is bumped up into the 2 spot. Martin hit 6th in last night's game. There's that fastball and that good approach. Martin went opposite field last night, hit a home run to right center in the 7th inning. That broke a 1-1 tie. .95 on the block. Chris Archer is in such a groove right now.
Yeah, he's working quickly. He's getting the ball. He's not milling around the mound. He's getting it, staying on that pitching rubber, and he's been very, and I mean very aggressive this season.
That one was just a little bit high. Last time the Blue Jays saw Chris Archer was in Toronto on April 16th, and he had Russell Martin with a 1-2 fastball. And then later on, he would hit Edwin Encarnacion, and there was a little bit of hard feeling and jawing back and forth. This tapped out in front of home plate. Rivera comes out and throws out Russell Martin. But I think that tension has subsided. The Blue Jays, since the third game they've played in the series, and no one has mentioned anything about it.
Yeah, and Chris Archer has said it himself. You know, it seems like it was more like a misunderstanding than anything else. It's over with. I'm out here to try and pitch and win the ball game. No need to deal what happened a few weeks ago.
The Rays are 5-1 in season series, and Mark Burley waits on the bench. He's all ready to go. It doesn't take him long to get loose into the flow of a game. Well, you can see the Blue Jays have that approach of get that first pitch fastball and turn it loose.
Well, that was the game plan that Archer used against the Blue Jays back in Toronto. He was early in the count, pumping that fastball in there, and it's one of the best fastballs in the American League, and then finishing him off with the slider.
That's a wicked breaking ball. Archer quickly ahead 0-2. Chris Archer's 26 years old, and this is his third team. There's a fastball, and Donaldson hammers it into center. Archer a little bit upset. He had Donaldson in the hole, and Josh has been swinging the bat so well coming into this game over his last 11 games. He's hit .444.
He thought he was going to slip a fastball by him. A big league hitter, if it's straight and it's in there for a strike, they can handle that, and that's what Josh does. You see him point that finger saying, that's one for today. 0-2 fastball heater right down the middle.
This is Edwin Encarnacion. Edwin is off to a slow start, batting .191, and you look back to spring training. Edwin only had 29 at bats. He dealt with a back problem that knocked him out of any regular activity, so he is behind the curve because of the lack of at bats.
And you know, power hitters against power pitchers like we have seen so far early in the season, that timing is just not there. It'll take some time to recognize the breaking ball, to get it going on the fastball. This is a lot like what we saw from Edwin last April.
Chases that high fastball. You can see he's anxious, and when a hitter has his timing, he'll let the ball come to him. And now Edwin's trying to go get that pitch.
It's also chasing pitches around the strike zone. Guessing in certain situations. He'll sit on certain pitches in certain situations. Right now he's just a little bit chasing the ball all over the strike zone.
Breaking ball is bounced in the dirt. Edwin had a base hit in Friday night's game. He also walked. He was 1 for 2. His base hit went to the left of the second baseman into that shift, and it made its way into center. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Donaldson will hold his ground. Justin Smoke back at first base this afternoon. He started in last night's game. Full count, 2 outs. Donaldson will have a big lead at first as Loney has backed up to play behind him. Ball 4. So with 2 outs, the Blue Jays get an 0-2 single from Donaldson, and Encarnacion walks.
And then a walk against Chris Archer. And this is good because we're starting to see all the pitches that he features and this is what he throws. Fastball 52% of the time, and that 95 miles an hour, second best velocity in the American League on that fastball. His slider, he'll use it 40% of the time, and note how hard that slider is, nearly 87 miles an hour. He's mixing the changeup a little bit faster than his slider. The changeup is still almost 10 miles per hour below the fastball.
Archer threw a good fastball to get ahead of Justin Smoak. We mentioned Smoak 3 for 7 going head to head against Chris Archer. Rene Rivera, after that first pitch, went out to the mound just to recheck the signals, I'm sure. Had a runner at second base in Donaldson, so they might mix it up a little bit. Oh, and 2.
That's his changeup right there, and that says 86 miles an hour for a changeup. Again, almost 10 miles an hour shorter than his fastball, but still pretty firm.
Another 0-2 count for Archer. Bounced that breaking ball in the dirt. Speaking of that changeup, Archer's pitching coach Jim Hickey compares Chris's changeup to Felix Hernandez. That's the highest praise you can give to anyone. King Felix has the best changeup in baseball, and Jim Hickey says Archer's is developing into a dramatic swing and miss pitch.
Yeah, when he has that, and he says all he has to do now is learn to command that fastball. When you do that, you start putting up the games that we have seen early in this season.
Well, got a piece of it. He stays alive.
Boy, this is good. Making Chris Archer throw a lot of pitches early on. If you remember that game back at Rogers Center, it was 3 up, 3 down, in and out, in and out. He was pounding the strike zone. It really had the Blue Jays on the defensive. This afternoon now, 22 pitches already here in the first inning. That's a good sign.
When we talk about a pitcher, when he gets over 18 to 20 pitches, he starts to feel a bit of fatigue in a particular inning. 1 and 2, 2 outs. Another slider, another strikeout. Blue Jays get a pair. Chris Archer's out of the first. Mark Burley will toe the rubber when we come back. Burley has pitched well against the Rays in this ballpark in the past. Fresh off a 4-game losing streak, and the relievers have won each of those 4 games. Take a look at their lineup. Guyer, Souza, Cabrera, and then Evan Longoria. His last 4 games is starting to heat up. He always hits well against the Blue Jays, and he had a 4-hit game in last night's game, part of those 8 hits over his last 4 games. And then Logan Forsythe. He is behind Longoria because of these numbers against Mark Burley. He's 8 for 19 with 3 doubles. So Kevin Cash has stacked Longoria and Forsythe back to back.
This is fast-working veteran. Mark Burley will get his 4th start of the season. He's had a perfect record, 3-0 with an ERA of 4. He's allowed his share of hits, 23 hits, 4 walks, but only 8 earned runs this year.
There's a deep drive to left center. Kevin Pillar is back at the wall, and he can't catch this one. As Brandon Guyer jumps on that high pitch for Mark Burley and knocks it out of the yard. A first inning home run.
Looked like it might have been an off-speed pitch, a changeup. That was down, and Brandon Guyer hits it to one of the deepest part of the ballpark. You can see it's down. He has to reach for it, and he gets his wrist into that one, sends it out. We've seen Pillar make catches like this, but it's just out of his reach. He was looking for the ball, thinking it might have crashed back into play.
Hot shot, one hopper to Donaldson. Souza is retired, one down. Defensively behind Mark Burley. Outfielders are important because Burley gives up a lot of fly balls. So Pompey's in left, Pillar's in center, and Michael Saunders for the second straight day is in right. The infield, a little different look at shortstop. Ryan Goins starts in place of Jose Reyes. Donaldson's at third. Travis and Smoke on the right side, and Russell Martin is teaming up with Mark Burley.
Second start for Ryan Goins at shortstop. Just a day off for Jose Reyes. Get him off his feet. As they head to Boston and then Cleveland, Ryan Goins, who gets the start this afternoon against a very tough pitcher.
Mark Burley, for his career, has gone 11-5 against the Rays. This is popped up. Smoke with a long run into foul ground. Gets there and makes the catch. Asdrubal Cabrera is retired on the pop foul.
Evan Longoria heads up to the plate. Let's take a look at where he has hit this series, where the pitches have been that he has hit. Fastball you can see all over the place. What this tells you is Evan Longoria can handle any pitch, I think, in any part of the strike zone. We've seen him hit a high one on the inside, one away, different pitch types. 4 hits in yesterday's ball game, so he's had a great series.
He's on that breaking ball, but hooks it foul. Burley always works quickly, and you can see he tries to keep the ball out in the middle. That one's up the middle and through for a base hit. Longoria continues to swing a hot bat.
You know, we were just talking about Longoria being able to handle all types of pitches in all types of areas. How about this one? It looked like a backdoor cutter, and he reaches for it. Hits a ground ball to the left side. Even with 3 defenders on the left side of the infield, he's able to find the hole.
5 straight hits for Longoria, second hit in the inning. And this is Logan Forsythe. We mentioned he hits well against Burley. Got a .421 career average.
And his at-bat was the big at-bat last night, wasn't it? James Loney pinch hit for him, tied the game with that double.
This is a little flare off the end of the bat. Long run for Saunders. Travis has it go off his glove, and they're going to wave Longoria home. Throw's going to go to the cutoff man. Longoria is going to score. Charlie Montoyo, the third base coach, did a good job. Longoria was jogging into third, and Montoyo got his attention and said, "Come on." Ball got away from Travis. Saunders was deep. He had a long run. Yeah, and Longoria is waved home.
When it went off the glove of Devin Travis, it bounces away from the infield. And that's what Montoyo is looking at. Watch this ball. Travis reaches, and now it's bouncing away. Devin comes up, made a play in yesterday's game just like this. A ball that was off his glove. He came up firing him, got the out at third base. This time he throws it to the cutoff man, but it's a little bit too late. Longoria scores the second run of the inning.
Well, Travis made the right play. With 2 outs, you expect that base runner to score from first base. And he figured he didn't have a shot at Longoria. They only did because Longoria wasn't running full speed into third. This is James Loney starting. He did not start in the game yesterday, came off the bench and hit a first pitch off of Miguel Castro. Difference in the ballgame. Pinch hit double. This is popped up on the infield. Ryan Goins behind second base. Makes the catch. The inning is over, but the Rays, riding the momentum of that comeback win last night, get a jump start from the leadoff man. Brandon Guyer goes deep against Mark Burley, his first home run of the season. The Rays have taken a 2-0 lead.
Presented by the 2015 Honda CR-V, Motor Trend's 2015 Sport Utility of the Year.
Sunday afternoon at Tropicana Field, a lot of things going on the concourse. A lot of things happening in the first inning as Tampa Bay jumps out to a 2-0 lead. 3 hits in the inning off of Mark Burley, while Chris Archer stranded a pair of Blue Jays base runners. The Blue Jays have now allowed 26 home runs. They've hit 25, but they've allowed 26.
That first inning has been a rough inning at times this season for the Blue Jays.
This is Michael Saunders. Michael returned to the Blue Jays last night. He's in the lineup and finished 0 for 2 with a walk. Chris Archer loves that fastball, and his command has improved dramatically. Archer really had a long time to develop in the minor leagues. He threw a total of 769 2/3 innings in the minors before he became a polished major leaguer.
So we were talking about last night about pitchers. He was drafted out of North Carolina in 2006 by the Indians, and he was given time to develop.
Saunders takes strike 3. Got that fastball down and away. Archer's 3rd strikeout so far.
You know what it does is it gives you time to develop fastball command. Here's a fastball heater. He catches Saunders looking for the off-speed pitch, and he blazes that 95-mile-an-hour fastball right by him. But when you're in the minor leagues, it gives you time to command that fastball, refine it, refine your breaking ball. You see situations that you're going to see in the big leagues, and you're just a polished pitcher. The Rays have been known to do that with just about all of their pitchers.
And they can afford to do that because they've always had good pitching staffs. So when you have major league pitching staffs, you back up the minor leagues, and some of those kids have a chance to develop. This is Dalton Pompey. Pompey has made some minor adjustments in his approach at the plate lately.
Spent some time right after the game yesterday with hitting coach Brooke Jacoby, where his hands are, and trying to get a little movement before that swing starts. Watched him in batting practice today, and he looks good. You can see he's standing a little bit more upright. His hands are in a great hitting position, and he's got some movement as the pitch is on his way. Movement back. It's almost like a trigger. Get yourself moving. Get it going.
Is it a good thing to make adjustments when you're facing Chris Archer?
Well, that's always not a good thing. But for a young player, and Brooks says he understands it, he gets it. They watched film together. And I said, well, you're facing Chris Archer. If you go 0 for 4, will he abandon it? And he said no. And that's the right approach. You're facing one of the best pitchers in the American League, and you're trying something a little bit different to try and get yourself going. Don't abandon it after one at bat.
That's just foul outside of first. And mind you, I think Pompey understands he's got to make some adjustments, and he's going to make adjustments probably throughout his career. But you can't panic just because you have it 0 for 4 against Chris Archer. But if you believe in it and your hitting coach has implemented it, you got to stick with it for a while.
Yeah, and a lot of the discussion was, well, what do you think? Tell me what you think, Dalton, about this whole thing. And you can see he's got some good movement in his hands before he swings the bat.
He grounds out to the second baseman. You know, that's one thing you talk about, making adjustments with Archer on the mound. It's kind of like a manager thinking about having a motivational meeting with his team. You always want to make sure Roy Halladay's starting for you on that day. Then you get credit for motivating the team.
Yeah, or you're facing a guy where your career numbers are ridiculous, right? You've beaten him 20 times or something.
Yeah, timing is everything as far as those meetings go. This is Kevin Pillar. He is in center field again today, and that pitch is inside. Remember, there was the tension between these two teams when Archer faced him last time at Rogers Center. Archer hit Russell Martin and Edwin Encarnacion. Later on in the game, Josh Donaldson also got hit. And this ball is inside and straightens up Kevin Pillar. Burley and Archer got into a jawing match across the diamond. Burley was not pitching in that game. But later on, Marco Estrada hit Evan Longoria in the hip, and Burley pointed out to Archer that it was his fault, his actions, that created the retaliation. Ball and a strike. Pop straight back over our head.
Well, this is the play you were talking about right here back at Rogers Center, right off the elbow. And one more right off around the elbow area. Marco says, okay, let me get one right here. And there's the talk between the two. That's your fault. Why? Why is it my fault? And then later on, that pitch right there actually hit him.
It's a little chopper to third. Longoria throws on the run and hits Longoria right in the chest as Loney makes the play. 3 up, 3 down for Archer in the second.
And Tabby mentioned no Jose Reyes in the lineup today. I had a chance to talk to him before the game. He said while the ribs are not feeling any worse, they're also not feeling any better. He's getting really sick and tired of not being able to hit from the left side, but at this point, feels he'll probably have to do that for the remainder of the trip. He's not in the lineup today, primarily because they wanted to give him a rest, especially with Chris Archer on the mound today. But as far as moving forward, when they get back to Toronto, Reyes plans to have an MRI just to make sure things are healing, but they are going very slow. Buck?
Yes, Barry, there is no reason to risk further injury to that cracked rib as he continues to hit right-handed, but it's got to be frustrating for a switch hitter to be handcuffed the way Reyes is.
From the right side versus right-handed pitching, it just hasn't looked the same. Not used to it, not hitting the ball very hard either.
And it's unfortunate because he was really swinging the bat well. Ball and a strike. This is Tim Beckham. Beckham bunts it, and Martin's not going to have a play as it's back near the screen. Blue Jays are probably thinking, go ahead, bunt. The way he has hit against them this season, he's got 7 RBIs against the Blue Jays. And he's a former #1 pick that's taken a while to develop. But this season, Beckham is 6 for 18 with a double, 2 home runs, and 7 RBIs.
And how about the home runs with 2 strikes? He has done that this season against left-handed pitching.
I think that's a great lesson for young hitters to understand. You're not trying to hit home runs, but you're trying to have a good approach with 2 strikes, and you become short and quick. And when you have that approach, ball jumps off your bat.
And he has had that this season. 3 times he has hit the ball out of the ballpark with 2 strikes.
He's hitting .321 with 2 strikes. Kevin Kiermaier, center fielder, is on deck, left-handed batter. Desmond Jennings is dealing with a sore knee. Beckham strikes out, barely took something off that pitch. That's the first strikeout of the afternoon. Let's check in with Jamie for the first time this afternoon.
Center fielder, number 39, Kevin Kiermaier.
Bryce Harper, of course, one of the shining stars in baseball, off to a good start with 5 home runs. She's Kevin Kiermaier. We mentioned the center fielder Desmond Jennings is dealing with a sore knee right now, and normally Jennings would be in this game playing center, and Kiermaier would start out on the bench.
Simply because there's a lefty on the mound for the Blue Jays. Kiermaier showed the other night that he could hit lefties. Faced Jeff Francis a couple of times, hit the ball hard twice.
And he just missed that outside corner.
Got a base hit to right field on a hanger, and looked like it might have been an inside the park home run, but it was an error by the left fielder. He circled the bases.
This ball is driven to left. Pompey's got room in the alley. It drops the ball. Kiermaier is going to stop at second, as Pompey looked like he just assumed that he was going to catch it, took his eye off of it, and dropped the ball.
You know what happened, Buck? The ball was carrying on him. He wasn't able to step back. To watch him backpedal and backpedal and backpedal. When you start backpedaling as an outfielder, that ball starts jumping around, and you can see the frustration from Dalton in left field. As an outfielder, you got to get behind the baseball. Outfield coaches used to tell me, get behind the baseball, stay behind the baseball. It's going to come to you. Let it come to you. That time he got over there, took the route, and then realized he had to backpedal, and the ball jumped on him.
This is the number 9 hitter, the catcher, Rene Rivera. Rivera hit a home run to dead center off of R.A. Dickey in the opener on Friday night. His first home run of the season. He hits this ball into center. Pilar makes the catch, and now there are 2 down.
See TRF 450R for those who dare to ride red.
Two outs. Brandon Geyer started it off with a home run to left center. His first at bat. It was his first career leadoff home run. And first leadoff home run by a Rays player since Desmond Jennings led off a game last June against the Orioles with a homer. Ball and a strike to Brandon Geyer. Burley is very tough to run on. The Rays have not had a stolen base in this series, but they had 7 stolen bases in the 4 games at Rogers Center.
And the way Kiermaier can run at second base, he's already in scoring position. He's going to score on any base hit to the outfield. Burley does a good job of holding runners. He's quick to the plate. He's also quick right there. Finish it off.
He finds that inside corner, so the air doesn't cost Burley. Pompey charged with an air in left. Goins, Travis, and Martin when we come back.
Honda goes Tuesday, May 5th as the Blue Jays host the New York Yankees at 7:07. The first 15,000 fans will receive a Blue Jays and one TO Come Together t-shirt. Go to BlueJays.com for more. Buck?
Thank you very much, Barry. As the Yankees and the Mets are playing that Subway Series, they'll play tonight. Yankees are 10-8 to start the season, and they will be at Rogers Center for the first time during that series Barry just discussed. This is Ryan Goins. Goins is starting at shortstop. As Pat mentioned, Ray is getting a day off. Chance to give him a little bit of a break against a tough right-hander. Don't you love that, the old extra guys? And I was an extra guy my whole life. Hey, you're going to play on Sunday. Great. Who's pitching? Cy Young.
That's the old good news, bad news thing, right? Good news is you're playing.
Yeah.
Bad news is you're facing a tough pitcher.
And that's why the regular's not playing.
For me, at the end of my career, it was Randy Johnson.
Oh, you always got Randy Johnson.
I always got Randy
Johnson.
Johnson.
He's left-handed. What's wrong with that?
Well, I didn't mind that part of it. Okay, I really didn't.
Yeah, Randy Johnson wasn't left-handed, though.
But it wasn't a soft-tossing lefty.
Ryan Goins flies out to the center fielder. The Blue Jays have been set down 5 straight by Archer after the walk to Encarnacion with 2 outs in the first. He is on that kind of roll right now. Chris Archer is a young man that can throw 3 quality pitches for strikes at any time.
And everything is firm. Everything's got some speed to it. If he starts throwing that slider for a strike right there, that's when you're really in tough. First inning, he didn't have a feel for it. Even though he had a couple of strikeouts, it just didn't. He was bouncing a couple, threw a lot of pitches in that first inning. That fastball, and it's an easy 96 right there.
1-1 to Devin Travis. Travis struck out in the first. Fastball right on the corner. You can't really overemphasize the quality location that Archer has with his fastball. We saw it at Rogers Center last time he started, and he really keeps that fastball on the edges.
And down. Every now and then a ball will get away from him where he'll crowd a right-hander.
That's that wicked breaking ball. Another strikeout for Archer. That's 4 so far this afternoon.
When the Blue Jays saw him back at Rogers Center, he had 11, a season high 11 strikeouts, a lot of them on a pitch just like this. One of the best sliders in all of baseball. Look at the late break, spin, and location. Very tough to come up with that ball as a right-handed hitter.
And fastball off the plate outside. You mentioned earlier, Pat, that Archer's slider is 87 miles an hour. Well, when a pitcher throws it that hard, there's no spin. You can't pick up the rotation on the pitch, and it looks like a fastball.
And then the late break, right underneath the bat.
Russell Martin, the catcher, with a 1-1 count. He got a piece of that slider and lifts it in the air to right. Souza is called off by the center fielder, Kiermaier. Another quick inning for Chris Archer.
Alabama with the Honda Indy Grand Prix of Alabama. Catch the action live at today at 3 o'clock Eastern, 12 Pacific on Sportsnet 1. Buck?
Thank you very much, Barry. Blue Jays need to have a comeback here. They're down 2-0 as the Rays are set to bat in the bottom of the third. We mentioned Mark Burley has pitched well in this ballpark in the past. Here at Tropicana Field, he has a career one-loss record of 7-3. So he is going to have to dig down deep today and put up some more zeros, and hopefully the Blue Jays can figure out Chris Archer. This is the number 2 hitter, Steven Souza Jr. Burley got that one right in on the fists of Souza.
I think that's the pitch that has really taken Mark Burley the last couple of years to another level. That little cut fastball in on the right-hander.
There's a base hit. Souza stays on that pitch away and drives it. They better get it back in. Souza can run.
He cut that fastball in on the right-handers and it sets up something away. This time, though, plenty of plate coverage. They wanted that ball down and away, and he shoots it back through the middle. I was watching him come out of that box, and he was thinking about 2 all the way.
The Blue Jays in the outfield especially seem a little tentative right now. Of course, Pompey committed the error last inning. It didn't hurt Burley as he was able to get out of it. Asdrubal Cabrera popped out his first time up. Cabrera and Burley, they have faced one another an awful lot, having spent majority of their careers in the American League Central. Cabrera with the Indians, and of course Burley with the White Sox. How important is it for a hitter to have a lot of at-bats like Cabrera does against Burley? Is that something that really gives him an advantage? He's got 48 at-bats now against Burley.
I think it does. I think it gives the batter more information and gives them a better game plan. They can form that game plan and have an idea. And that's what I meant about that pitch right there. Got in. Early in Burley's career, he was throwing a lot of pitches down and away, down and away. That little cutter on the inside part of the plate, I think, has really stood up those right-handers, and it's really opened up the outside part of the plate.
Yeah, I think you're right. And obviously, at this stage of his career, he needs to keep making adjustments, and he's adjusted very well.
Yet you were asking about how important is it. It's very important for a hitter. So you make those adjustments like Mark has, and that's why he can go out there and continue to throw 200 innings every year.
This is Evan Longoria. He taps this one up the third baseline. Burley will let it go foul. Longoria singled and scored in the first. Evan now has 5 straight hits against the Blue Jays. Burley, of course, threw a perfect game against the Tampa Bay Rays July 23rd, 2009 in Chicago, U.S. Cellular Field. He also threw the 16th no-hitter in White Sox history, April 18, 2007 against Texas. And in that game, he faced the minimum, 27 batters. He walked Sammy Sosa, but then picked him off first. Longoria is on fire. They better cut that ball off. Saunders gets over and cuts it off, hustles it back in. First and third. Longoria is 2 for 2 already. Logan Forsythe had a pop double that went off the glove of Devin Travis after it was looped into right. He pops this one up. Goins, the shortstop, makes the catch. 2 down.
The DIY Expert Sale, only at Home Building Center and Home Hardware Building Center. Homeowners helping homeowners with expert advice.
Tropicana Field, Sunday afternoon. The Rays have won the first 2 games of this series. Mark Burley trying to pitch out of another jam. He's got runners at the corners, 2 outs. James Loney. Pompey makes the catch, and Burley doesn't. Strands a couple more. It's still a 2-run game as Tampa Bay scored 2 in the first. The Blue Jays down by 2 as they back in the fourth.
Jays on Sportsnet. Presented by the 2015 Honda CR-V, Motor Trend's 2015 Sport Utility of the Year.
Blue Jays set to bat here in the top half of the fourth inning. Chris Archer got into some trouble in the first. A two-out single by Josh Donaldson and a two-out walk to Encarnacion, but then he struck out Smoke. Archer has retired 7 straight since that walk to Encarnacion.
Don't let him get into that groove. He can just start mowing you down.
We say it often with starting pitchers, if you're going to get to them, chances are you better get to them in the first, especially the good ones. And they had them on the ropes in the first. That slider is starting to get zeroed in for Archer. As Pat mentioned earlier, Archer was a 5th-round pick of the Indians in 2006, and then he was traded to the Cubs in 2008, basically for Mark DeRosa. Now, and we love Mark DeRosa, but that's a pretty lopsided trade. And then Archer came here to Tampa Bay, and it was a multiplayer trade. The key going to the Cubs was Matt Garza. Archer came here to Tampa Bay with Hawk Julia, shortstop, Robinson Chirinos now catching in Texas, Sam Fuld, and Brandon Guyer, who's still here. Tampa Bay sent Matt Garza, Fernando Perez, and Zach Roskup to Chicago. Donaldson bounces it to short. Beckham bobbles it, but recovers in time.
And that's what they do so well, I think, the Tampa Bay Rays. They have to continually turn over their roster and get young guys because they just can't afford them. When they get up into their 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th year, they become free agents and they go other places. So before that happens, they end up trading their stars, but they do a good job of rating the other organization's best players.
Yeah, they always give good players in return. Garza went 21-18 in 3 years with the Cubs. Archer's gone 22-21 with the Rays, but Archer's 26 years old.
Yeah, he's just starting out, and they did the right thing. They signed him to a long-term contract, Chris Archer, to eat up some of his arbitration years.
Encarnacion had that 2-out walk we mentioned. That was back in the first inning.
Look at the quality.
You can't do anything with those pitches.
Just can't. And you know the scary thing about that? You and I were talking to Jim Hickey before this series started. He thinks that Chris Archer can get even better. He thinks his tempo, if he works a little bit quicker, he says his arm action has been so good now. They've made some changes in the way he starts his windup and things like that. That tempo and that speed, he feels like he can even get better.
Jim Hickey says what Archer needs to clean up is his fastball command. And then he said once he does that, he can be the best of the bunch, even better than David Price. And Hickey says, I know that's saying a lot, but Archer has those capabilities.
That is a mouthful right there. When you start talking about him being better than David Price, considering all the great things that Price did in this uniform.
Two balls and 2 strikes, 1 out. Blue Jays trying to get something going against Chris Archer. And right there, he gets one inside and strikes out Encarnacion. That's 5 strikeouts. And he does it with a variety of pitches. Yeah, he gets a lot of strikeouts with his slider, but he struck out Michael Saunders looking with a fastball. Got Encarnacion with changeup. He's got a little bit of everything to attack you with.
Basically 3 pitches, but for me, all 3 pitches are above average.
Justin Smoke goes after the first pitch and pops it up into foul ground. Beckham, the shortstop, is there and makes the catch in foul territory. 10 straight retired by Chris Archer, going back to the first.
final postseason run in the CHL as the Otters face the Greyhounds. It's Game 3 of the conference finals, and you can watch it tonight on Sportsnet and Sportsnet 360 beginning at 7 o'clock. Buck?
Barry, lots going on, certainly in the hockey world, as baseball really getting underway in the first month of the season. Blue Jays trying to find their identity early on. That ball is drilled down the left field line. Tim Beckham has just missed another home run. Boy, he's swinging the ball well, swinging the bat well at that ball inside. It seems as though Blue Jays are throwing a lot of breaking balls coming into him, and he's all over them.
And those breaking balls are the ones that are speeding up his bat and having him yank the ball down the line. You see it's very close. Almost scrapes that foul pole down the left field line. But certainly foul, no arguing.
Beckham signed in 2008. Didn't come to the big leagues for the first time in 2013, and that was just a taste of coffee, a little cup of coffee. He played in 5 games, got 7 at bats. But he looks like he's here to stay now.
Yeah, playing shortstop this afternoon. We've seen him at second base. We've seen him come off the bench already. Just had to polish up his game to make it major league ready.
Beckham with a single. One hops it to the left fielder. Tampa Bay with 5 hits already.
Trying that backdoor cutter. Backdoor breaking ball catches a little bit too much of the plate. I love the contrast that we are seeing this afternoon in both of these starting pitchers. Their fastball velocity, it's a contrast on both of them. Burley's got the slowest. Archer's got one of the fastest, and they're both successful.
And it just proves there's no one way to pitch. You can pitch with position, location, movement, and change of speed, or you can overpower hitters like Archer does. Kevin Kiermaier, there's a good pickoff move, and Burley says, you know what, Beckham doesn't know me very well.
Let me try and pick up number 100.
Yep, he's got 99 career pickoffs. That's the better one. Beckham, he almost hesitated. He thought, oh, he's coming over here. No, he's not. Yeah, I better dive back.
He's doing the right thing, and he's hanging out there. And by that I mean he's getting out there, and he's not moving one way or the other. He's not going back to the bag. He's not leaning towards second. He's just hanging out there to try and read Burley. So to finish up that thought, Burley's fastball registers 83 miles an hour, which is the lowest fastball velocity in baseball, and he wins with it. The American League average fastball is 91.5 miles an hour. So he is 8 miles an hour under the average, but he can still win with it because he's smart.
His fastball is a changeup for the Major League average fastball. But Burley pitches with it. He's never been a hard thrower, and he's always had to pitch and locate his pitches. And you're talking one of the best pitchers of his generation. Bouncing ball. Donaldson got a tricky hop, and he's not going to have a play. That ball was cued toward third, and when it hopped up and hit the dirt, it kicked back to Donaldson's left. He was thinking about second. Once he saw he had no play on Beckham, he knew he had no play on Kiermaier.
Blue Jays played a shift against Kiermaier also against the left-hander. So there's 3 infielders on the left. Donaldson's got the whole left side of the infield. And the English on that ball, watch it hit the dirt and kick to his glove side. Look, he has to reach. That's going to take a couple extra seconds. He looks at second, no chance. No play over at first base.
First and second, nobody out. Number 9 hitter, Rene Rivera, not showing bunt, and he is all over that pitch. Maybe Cash gave him 1 strike before he asked him to bunt, and Rivera wasn't going to waste it.
Well, it's the perfect situation if they do want to bunt. They've got their best base runners and fastest base runners out there. They've got a guy who can't run at the plate, anything on the ground, they're going to turn 2 on. Managers will do that every now and then, give him 1 shot to try and drive him in.
Not punting here, and he loops it behind first, and that's going to drop. Travis goes to retrieve it in right. The Rays have 2 base hits in this inning that didn't go 200 feet. Rivera got jammed and just flared it over the first baseman's head.
Sawed off, and with the infield in the corners. Watch this. Doesn't even reach the outfield? No. Right on the infield dirt and then trickles into the outfield. 2 tough hits against Mark Buehrle has loaded the bases.
Well, this is a tough spot for Buehrle. He's not a strikeout pitcher. And he pitches to contact, but there are no outs and the base is loaded. And there's a fly ball to left field. Pompey makes the catch. Tagging at third is Beckham, and the throw is offline and late. Brandon Guyer with his second RBI of the afternoon. It's a sac fly to left.
Well, you got some speed on the bases. You don't have to hit the ball that far to get a sacrifice fly. Guyer's a free swinger. He's up there hacking away against that first pitch. Hits it deep enough into left field. For run number 3. And the Rays, they're a bunch that really takes advantage of these types of situations. If you make mistakes, they capitalize.
Steven Souza Jr. He singled to left center his last time up, and Buehrle finds that inside corner.
Long look by Souza to Charlie Montoya, the third base coach. Kiermaier, the runner at second base. This might be a spot where they take a shot at possibly stealing third.
Ground ball. Donaldson to second. Travis to first. Double play. Steven Souza Jr. grounds into a double play, and Buehrle minimizes the damage. The Rays get a run. We'll head to the 5th. It's 3-0 Tampa Bay. Now it's time for a Blue Jays Central Update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zorn.
When the Jays take on the Boston Red Sox at 1:07. For the first 20,000 fans, you'll receive a Josh Donaldson white replica jersey. Enjoy Mother's Day at the ballpark with the Blue Jays. Go to BlueJays.com for more details. Buck?
That's always a good day at the ballpark, as the ball players will use the pink bats, pink gloves, and a lot of them will even put out pink shoes. So make sure you get your tickets for Mother's Day. Come out and you get a Josh Donaldson replica jersey as well. Well, Blue Jays, they're down 3-0 to Chris Archer. They got to get something going. It'll be Saunders, Pompey, and Pilar. And Michael Saunders cuts down the first pitch.
What a changeup. First pitch changeup. What are you doing as a hitter? You're looking for that heater. And he pulls the string on him.
Well, and that's the thing. It's second time through the order. You got to give him a little different look. There's a fastball. It's bounced to second. Forsythe, Deloney, one down.
He's getting into that groove where he's finding that release point on all of his pitches.
11 straight retired by Archer going back to the first inning. He has really settled in. That first inning he threw 23 pitches, and since 15, 10, and 12. Dalton Pompey grounded out to second. He bunts this one up the third baseline, but it's a foul bunt. That's always a good idea facing a tough pitcher. See if you can't get something going. And the Blue Jays have power. So you get a base runner on, somebody smacks one, and you're right back in the ball game.
Put Chris Archer in the stretch. He hasn't been in the stretch since the first inning. He is getting into a nice little groove out there in the windup. I love it. Maybe next time bring it to the second baseman. Longoria, the third baseman, is in. He's taking away the bunt. Bring it with you.
Hard hit, fair ball down the right field line. Pompey turns around first. He's headed for second. And now he's going to stop there as that ball kicked off of that wall. Souza had to come and get it. And Pompey's at second. That snaps a string of 11 straight retired by Chris Archer. The Blue Jays have a runner in scoring position.
There you go. Curveball that time, and he hooks it right past Loney, the first baseman. Off speed down into that corner. If he could have got it past that little part of the wall that jets out, if he got it into that corner, he would have had third base easily. But you're down by 3 runs, play it safe.
Kevin Pillar at the plate. He's in the 8th spot. Archer throws a first pitch strike. Pompey's trying to get as big a lead as possible. Obviously hits are tough to come by, and if he feels like he can steal third, maybe he can get himself into a good situation.
That's right. If that ball got down into that corner, he's at third easily, where a long fly ball will score him. You get a big lead also at second base on a short wild pitch. If that ball is in the dirt, Rivera can't get it. A short one, it doesn't go very far. If you're anticipating that and you're thinking about that, you can move up. You can do that on your secondary lead. That's where you get it. You get a lead, your primary lead where you can get back in case they try and pick you off, but get a big secondary lead.
So to describe that secondary lead a little more, as a primary lead compared to the secondary lead.
Primary, you want to be able to take a lead far enough off the bag where if they try a pickoff, you get back. Secondary lead is usually 2, 3, maybe even 4 hops as the pitcher delivers the ball towards home, and you're landing on that right foot as the ball's crossing the plate.
Pillar checked his swing, but he goes around and strikes out, according to Jordan Baker, the first base umpire. 2 down.
The DIY Expert Sale, only at Home Building Center and Home Hardware Building Center. Homeowners helping homeowners with expert advice.
Back here in St. Petersburg, Florida, Blue Jays will fly to Boston after this game, and that young lady is having her candy floss, and some of it's going in her mouth. She's having a good time at the ballpark, that's for sure. 2 outs. Pompey at second for Ryan Goins. Well, this would be a big shot in the arm if Goins can come through with a 2-out base hit.
Anything in the outfield, Dalton Pompey is going to score. He runs too well, and they will probably just give him home plate. It'd be good for the Blue Jays, and it could be good for Ryan Goins.
2 balls and no strikes. Goins playing in place of Reyes, and Reyes is just getting the day off. According to Barry Davis, who talked to him earlier today, Reyes said that his left side feels about the same as it has.
2-0 slider
to the number 9 hitter.
9 hitter.
Now that's what's significant, because Archer has the confidence he can throw a strike with it. Bounce to the mound. Archer runs it halfway to first, and he pitches out of the jam. Dalton Pompey with a 1-out double. But Archer strands another base runner.
Extreme Rules will take place, available across Canada on the WWE Network for only $11.99 per month. Visit WWE.com/Canada for more.
Thank you very much, Barry Davis. This is inside Tropicana Field. Large concourse here. The fans enjoying all the amenities here. They have dressed this ballpark up as much as possible. They've done a real nice job with it. This is Asdrubal Cabrera, who foul tipped that first pitch. Cabrera's 0 for 2 against Burley so far this afternoon. He is now 1 for 19 against lefty pitching.
Switch hitter from the right side. He's had a prolonged slump. In fact, Friday night he got his first extra base hit since April the 11th. Ball to left center field. Kevin Cash has done a good thing with his lineup. He keeps hitting him third. He said he was going to do that for the whole first month of April.
Asdrubal Cabrera is now 1 for 20 as Burley strikes him out. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell.
Number 3, Evan Longoria.
Russell playing at second base. He is the former shortstop of the Oakland A's, who came over there in that trade for Jeff Samardzija when he went from the Cubs to the A's last year. They got a good looking young team, the Chicago Cubs.
What is he, 21, 22 years old?
Yeah, he's a young fella.
Ooh.
Jake Arrieta on the mound for the Cubs. Evan Longoria 2 for 2.
6 straight hits for Longoria. It's also starting to show some durability, Evan Longoria. This is game number 261 in a row for the veteran.
Yeah, there for a while he had some nagging injuries that kept him from playing every day. He's made 187 consecutive starts. That's the active leader for consecutive games in the major leagues. Hits this ball hard and deep to left. Pompey is back. It's off the wall. Pompey played it perfectly. Here's the throw to second. They got a shot and they got him. The umpires didn't rotate right there, and they got caught flat-footed. And now one umpire says out, the other one says safe, and here comes Kevin Cash, and I don't blame him. And look at Mark Burley. He got a smile on his face. Pompey played it perfectly. The umpires got caught, and they failed to rotate. Jerry Meals is the crew chief. He went halfway from the third base position, but he didn't get himself in position, and he's got to rotate there and make a call at second.
Good play by Dalton Pompey and a strike into second base. Usually you'll see the second baseman rotate out on extra base hits, and then the third baseman will cover second. Here's the play. It looked like from where we were, he tagged him and he was out, and he's going to be out. You can see the tag by Travis, puts it right into the dirt, then Longoria slides right into it. But the second base umpire, that's Andy Fletcher, said safe. Jerry Meals, the crew chief, said out. And I think the out's going to stand.
It's really interesting. Two veteran umpires, and they got crossed up on their rotation, and Kevin Cash is still discussing it with Jerry Meals. What a play by Pompey. He played it perfectly and made a great throw. One hop to Travis, who turned around and put the tag on Longoria. And Cash is going to give up the argument. There you see Fletcher saying safe because I didn't see him tag him out. But you can see the foot of Longoria hit the glove of Travis before he hit the base.
It's exactly how you want to draw it up right there if you're making it tag. Show him the back part of your glove where he can just slide right into it. You avoid injury. Nice play by Dalton Pompey. He picks up his third outfield assist.
Pompey playing in left field. Logan Forsythe. First pitch strike from Burley. There are two outs. Longoria out at second trying to advance, but he picks up his third hit. That's 7 straight hits in his last 2 games against the Blue Jays.
This will be definitive right here. Watch the glove. See him show the backside of the glove? You put it right in front of the bag. He slides right into it. That's where he's going. Perfect display of tagging that runner out.
Kevin Pillar made a throw at Rogers Center from the left field corner on a similar play like that. Threw a strike to Brian Goins, who was playing second, and Goins swiped at the leg instead of going to the base. If you go to the base, that's where the runner's going to slide. It's the only place you can be safe. 1-2, 2 outs. Burley gets hit by that comebacker, regroups and throws to first. That ball hit him hard on the leg, but he records the out. So the Blue Jays get some more good defense. This time it's Pompey. Travis Martin and Donaldson will lead things off. They're trying to get something figured out against Chris Archer. Extend his hit streak. He is currently riding an 11-game hit streak, and we thought we'd show you the franchise history for rookie hit streaks.
Reed Johnson leads them all at 20 in a row in 2003. There's some pretty good names on there. Alfredo Griffin, Sean Green, Tony Fernandez, Damaso Garcia, Aaron Hills. Look at all the second basemen. Garcia, Hill, and Travis.
The record, Reed Johnson had a 20-game hit streak in 2003. He was 26 years old at that time. Alfredo Griffin's 14-game hit streak came in '79. The year he was the American League Rookie of the Year. He shared that honor with John Castino of the Twins. Bouncing ball, big hop for Beckham at short. In time. Travis is 0 for 3. Mark Burley, with 2 outs, gets smoked on the back of his left leg. He makes the play to retire Forsythe and then got some attention once he hit the dugout. George Poole was the trainer. Burley indicating where he got hit. It looked like it got hit on the back of the left leg, so they're going to attend to Burley. And hopefully he'll be all right. He got hit hard. Boy, you could hear it smack on the back of that leg. Slider for a strike from Archer. Blue Jays have 2 hits and a first inning single off the bat of Josh Donaldson, and Dalton Pompey had a 1-out double in the 5th. Russell's 3rd home run of the season came leading off the 7th in a 1-1 game last night. Went to deep right center. Well, here's where you really got to battle against Archer.
Yeah, and you don't really sit on a pitch right here with 2 strikes. Just look for the ball. That slider way outside. You start looking for certain pitches, and he's going to change up on you. Look for the slider. He's going to throw the fastball right by you. If you look for the fastball, you're not going to be able to hit the slider. So look for the baseball.
Martin got a fastball away and protects that outside corner.
You know, one way that in these situations, I used to think away. I know he wants to get me out away, so I'm going to look for anything away and then try and shoot it to right field. And if he happens to come inside, I'm just going to try and react. Chances are inside it's a fastball. I'm going to try and react on it.
Martin knew it. That was a nasty slider. That's 7 strikeouts for Archer.
The championship-winning Honda CRF 450R for those who dare to ride red.
Josh Donaldson will step in with 2 outs. Donaldson, as we mentioned, has one of the 2 hits that came on an 0-2 fastball in the 1st inning. That was the only time Chris Archer looked vulnerable. He got a 2-out base hit and a 2-out walk, but then he struck out Justin Smoke.
Then retired 11 in a row before the double and back into his groove. Once again, 4 in a row since that double by Dalton Pompey.
Not many people were talking about the Rays this season because they had lost some players. Obviously, they have changed the makeup of their team, and they don't have 2 of their starters in now, but they're going to get those starters back.
We got a chance to watch Jake McGee throw yesterday, and then Matt Moore this morning was thrown off the mound.
They'll also get Alex Cobb back if he has no setbacks. Cobb probably a month away. But the way Jake Odorizzi is pitching and the way Archer's pitching, and then you get Moore back, you get Cobb back, and Colomé is supposed to join the team on the upcoming road trip. Colomé, hard throwing right-hander as well. There's Jake McGee on the bench. This is a fly ball to left. Brandon Geyer comes in a few steps. Another 1-2-3 inning for Chris Archer.
For some American League East opponents. First off, it's the Yankees, May 4th through 6th, and the Red Sox, May 8th through 10th. Then some Western Division teams, the Angels, the Mariners, and Melky Cabrera makes his return to Rogers Center. May 25th as the White Sox come to town. Go to BlueJays.com for more. Buck?
Barry, lots of great teams coming to Rogers Center, and a lot of teams off to good starts. Kansas City 12-4. They've taken over lead in the American League Central, and you look at Tigers, they have 12 wins as well. Loney goes after the first pitch and singles into center. James Loney 1 for 3 this afternoon.
But he could hit. Just flat out hit. Lefties, righties, it doesn't matter. They missed him. He played the first game of the season, then came out with an oblique injury. They just got him back for this series. And he means a lot to this team, both offensively and defensively. Stays right in there against that left-hander.
Jim Beckham singled his last time up, just missed a home run, pulled it foul outside the foul pole down left field line. What do you see in Beckham as far as an approach where you might be able to get him out?
Maybe down and away. You know, maybe stay with some hard stuff down and away, because he's been creaming breaking balls, especially middle in.
There's a ball inside. He just pulls it foul outside the third.
But the way he stands, he's a little bit upright with the bat back. Maybe you can pound him away. There's not a lot of history on Beckham. There's not a lot of reports on him or anything, because he's such a young player. He hasn't played that much in the big leagues.
Takes this one to right. Michael Saunders plays it back in. Back-to-back singles, 2 on, nobody out. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell.
Number 39, Kevin Kiermaier.
Mookie Betts committing his first error of the season, and Miley gets roughed up. 5 earned runs, 6 runs overall, and Bud Norris has allowed just 2 hits through the first 3 innings.
That bodes well for the Blue Jays if they can get into their bullpen this early in the game. That's where we're heading.
They have gone to the bullpen in Baltimore. Anthony Vivaro is into the game. Kevin Kiermaier, he's been on base twice. He shows bunt and bunts it, and that's a beauty. Donaldson with a desperation throw is late. Barely broke toward the first base foul line, anticipating Kiermaier dragging that bunt. But Kiermaier bunted it toward the third base side of the mound. Donaldson was the only one that had a chance, and he made it close.
It's a perfect bunt right here against a left-hander. He stays right in there. Punts it into no man's land. He just runs too well. You're not going to get him. You see Marco Estrada is now starting to warm up. This was the same situation a couple of innings ago. Bases loaded, nobody out, and Burley was only able to wriggle out of it with 1 run scoring.
Back into 4th. He gave up a sacrifice fly to Brandon Guyer, but then got a double play. Infield is in. Nobody out. Off the end of the bat. They'll go home for 1, and a return throw as Martin cleared the path and made a good throw to first base to retire Rivera. Boy, that's a huge double play. Martin took a couple of steps after forcing the runner at home, and watch the catcher. He knows he's got time, and he just shuffles his feet, makes sure he throws a strike. That's a big double play.
You know what, Buck? I was watching him on that play, and the runner at second base, Beckham, did not break immediately. And Martin was actually thinking about going to third base after he got the throw from home and get the runner at third base. Watch him one more time here. Watch the runner at second break back. He catches it. Look at the room he's got. He looks to third and says, you know what, I better go over to first base. And then when the play was over, he got eye contact with Ryan Goins and said, hey, next time I might come to you.
That was really interesting. For some reason, Beckham just froze at second base, and right here Martin is changing the signs with Burley, but Beckham didn't break and gave Martin at least thoughts of going to third.
Such a heads-up play. Such a heads-up play.
Ground ball, base hit. Beckham's in to score. Here comes Kiermaier right behind him. Brandon Guyer's had a big day. He has driven in 4.
He's a free swinger at that plate. He led off the game with a base hit, a home run. And this time he reaches out again and yanks it to the left side of the infield. Beckham scores, Kiermaier right behind him. It's now 5-0.
Big 2-out base hit for Brandon Guyer. He homered in the first, had a sac fly in the fourth, and now a 2-run single here in the 6th. Nothing Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay has 13 hits now. For Guyer, that's his first career game with 4 RBIs. This is his 131st game. Two and two. I mentioned Burley had been given so many runs of support, but today was going to be a different story because he was matched up against Chris Archer.
And this team, the Tampa Bay Rays, they keep grinding at that plate, wanting more.
Ball 4. Souza will take the 2-out walk. Guyer moves to second. John Gibbons has popped out of the Blue Jays dugout. And there he makes the call for the bullpen. It'll be Marco Estrada coming into this game. Mark Burley hung in there and was an out away from keeping it a 3-run game. Brandon Guyer had a 2-out, 2-run single and the walk. And Souza got the walk. Burley is out of the game. Marco Estrada comes into the game. He'll face Asdrubal Cabrera. When we come back, Tampa Bay leading 5-0.
Find everything you need for the Stanley Cup playoffs and the Toronto Blue Jays. Shop tsc.ca. You think the Blue Jays might be able to buy a break here?
Well, they need a break, that's for sure. They got the double play on the 5-2-3 double play, but then Burley gave up the 2-out base hit to Brandon Guyer. He's out of the game. Marco Estrada is into the game. He last pitched against the Orioles on the 21st. He's pitched well out of the bullpen early on.
He really has. That game that you were just talking about, the Orioles, he threw an inning and struck out the side, 3 strikeouts. He has really handled left-handed hitters this season with that changeup.
First pitch fastball is popped in the air into shallow right. Travis indicating he's got a bead on it, makes the catch. So Estrada needs just one pitch to close out the Rays in the 6th, but Tampa Bay scores 2 2-out runs and knocks Mark Burley out of the game. The Blue Jays will have Encarnacion Smoke and Saunders against Chris Archer when we come back. The line is pretty impressive. 2 hits over 6 innings, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts, 84 pitches, and now his scoreless streak has been extended to 25 2/3 innings. Pretty impressive scoreless streak, and if he pitches in this game without allowing an earned run, it'll be the first time in Rays history that a starter has made 4 consecutive starts without allowing an earned run.
Yeah, first time in the American League since 2009 when Zach Greinke did it. He's doing it with a great mixture of the fastball and the slider and an occasional changeup.
Hot shot, Longoria gloves it, rights himself, and Loney picks him over at first. There's the value of James Loney. That great glove at first base just saved an error for Evan Longoria.
He made a play in last night's game after he came in after the pinch hit and made a great play from a throw from Longoria. We've seen Evan do this for years and years. Gets to his feet and then the inside pitch pulled down there. Archer's loving that as it's picked by Loney on the other side. But Loney undervalued as a first baseman.
First basemen don't get any respect for how important they are to a team defensively. You see a play like that, and you say, oh, well, it's just been an error, but it's 1 out. It's an out in an inning. You start by retiring the first batter of the inning.
And you know who loves that? Pitcher. Chris Archer loved that. That was the reaction. You retire a tough hitter. And now it keeps the pitch count down.
Smoke drives it to center. Kiermaier, boy, he was deep, but he got a great break on that ball.
I noticed that in the first inning, how deep he is playing, and Guyer in the outfield. Good play.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. Any accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. Justin Smoke hit it hard, but right at the center fielder. Here is Michael Saunders.
Yeah, he's mixing his pitches well. using that fastball, using the slider. His changeup, there's not a lot of movement. There are the percentages of the pitches. 55% of the time he has used that fastball. And then the breaking ball and the off speed, the changeup just 8% of the time. And it's not a changeup that just falls off the table, but it's a change of pace. And it makes you really respect his fastball.
Now he has really taken his game to the next level. He certainly had to step up with the loss of Alex Cobb in spring training. Drew Smiley was out till Friday. They still don't have Matt Moore, so Archer got the nod to start opening day. And it was really interesting that they have used 13 straight opening day starters that were homegrown. Look at that play. Beckham handles it nicely. He was in the shift, takes the one hopper, and takes one away from Michael Saunders. Chris Archer has retired 11 of the last 15. He was 4 for 4 in last night's game. He has 7 consecutive hits. That's a career high for Evan Longoria, and it is one off the club record of 8 straight.
4 hits in yesterday's game, and now he is just swinging a hot bat. This is where you just stay unconscious, just go up there, get a good pitch to hit, and just take a swing. And he is doing that. He's hitting the ball all over the ballpark. We have seen him in this series. He had a hit on Friday night, 4 on Saturday, 3 more here on Sunday. He's just in one of those streaks where you just go up there, don't think about it, just swing it.
The club record, as we mentioned, is 8 straight hits. Ty Wigginton had 8 consecutive base hits in 2007, as did Aubrey Huff in 2004. So Longoria, with 1 more hit, can tie the club record for consecutive base hits.
He's closing in on 1,000 for his career. He is now just 6 hits shy of 1,000 hits for his career. He's one of the best.
Marco Estrada retired Asdrubal Cabrera on 1 pitch to end the 6th.
Longoria is facing a former teammate from college, so he knows all about Marco Estrada.
And the last time they faced one another, Estrada hit him in the hip. Estrada, he knew he had to respond to Gray Blue Jays being hit. Longoria just took his medicine and went to first. But that really got Longoria. It took him a while to overcome the effects of that being hit by a pitch. He got into a little bit of a funk when he first got back to Tropicana Field. He's DH. And he worked his way back into the lineup, and now he's got a stroke back. Changeup is in the dirt. It's a 3-1 count to Longoria. These two played at Long Beach State, and to give you an idea what kind of team they had. The shortstop that played to the left of Longoria was Troy Tulowitzki. Yeah, that Troy Tulowitzki. They also had a left-handed pitcher on the team named Cesar Ramos.
No wonder Marco Estrada's so good. A lot of ground balls to the left side of that infield.
So Estrada walks Longoria. It's just the second walk the Blue Jays have issued here this afternoon. But boy, Tampa Bay, for a team that's not supposed to hit, they had 9 hits last night. They've got 13 hits today, and they had 13 hits on Friday night. Kevin Cash, you mentioned how he has kept his lineup pretty much intact, and now that he's got James Loney back, he wants to keep at least the top part of the order in the regular spots. He said, I just don't want these guys to feel like they're going to move in and out of the different spots in the lineup. He told the players that in spring training, that he was going to try to establish a lineup and keep it intact every day, so he's not going to change much through at least the first month of the season.
That's the total opposite of their former manager, Joe Madden, who would tinker with his lineup and think about matchups, think about the game, try to put that lineup together in the afternoon. He used all kind of different lineups when he was here.
And they had different players, and certainly Kevin Cash is a different personality, but in talking to the players and coaches on the Rays, Cash is an excellent communicator. He and Tim Beckham have a little bit of a smile.
You know, that's the last thing you want to do as a manager, is tell your players one thing, and then a couple of weeks into the season, do just the opposite. Players will see that and understand that, well, maybe he's not telling the truth.
Yeah, or he doesn't have a game plan. He's just reacting to wins and losses, and the inconsistency will create some doubts. Logan Forsythe with a 2-2 count. That's going to be a foul ball down the left side. Matt Andres is loosening up, indication that Chris Archer might be done. Andrews picked up a save in a 3-inning effort here on Friday night. That'll Tapper. Donaldson cuts in front of the shortstop, and Smokes scoops it out of the dirt at first base.
Blue Jays back in action tomorrow as they begin a series at Fenway Park against the Red Sox. It's Joe Kelly versus Aaron Sanchez. Pre-game show, Blue Jays Central gets underway at 5:30. Note the time, the starting pitch at 6 o'clock. And the way the Red Sox rotation has been going lately, Buck, we could be seeing a lot of offense at Fenway this week.
That's right. Blue Jays love to go into Fenway Park, and they're hopeful of having Jose Bautista back in the lineup, at least at the DH spot. Reyes is another one you'd like to see back in the lineup, and of course losing Deanna Navarro was a very effective bat, and they just don't have that same offensive attack without those three key bats. Ground ball. Donaldson will take it. Longoria holds at second, and Loney's retired.
And the Red Sox don't have a dominant starting staff like they used to. No John Lester. No guys in the middle of that lineup in the pitching staff that scary. A lot of ground ball type of pitchers. So Jose Bautista probably chomping at the bit to get back into the lineup.
And Bautista at Fenway Park is a .299 career hitter, and he has hit a lot of home runs there at Fenway. And today, the starter for the Red Sox, Wade Miley, went just 2 1/3. And they are down 9-0 to the Orioles in Baltimore. So you can imagine that they're going to try to conserve some of those innings out of their bullpen for the Blue Jays. This is Tim Beckham. He's had another good game against the Blue Jays. He is 2 for 3, scored a pair of runs, has 2 singles.
Got that average up over 300 with that single to right field last time.
Longoria at second. Estrada called Martin out from behind the plate. He wanted to talk something over with him, and now he's all set. Two and 0, 2 outs. Tampa Bay leading it 5-0. Blue Jays with just 2 hits against Chris Archer. Well, that's a good changeup. A 2-0 changeup. Beckham was thinking fastball, had a big fastball cut, but it was the off-speed pitch.
He's got a good one. He's got good arm action. It comes out of the same slot as his fastball, and he's not afraid to throw it if fastball counts. You might see another one right here. This is a fastball count.
He threw a fastball but missed. It's now 3-1. And this is when Beckham has really done his damage against the Blue Jays. I mean, he's got the count in his favor. So with the base open, you might go ahead and throw him that changeup on a 3-1 pitch.
And if you miss, start with a clean count against Kiermaier.
And he did. He threw him that changeup. Is a changeup effective on back-to-back pitches?
I think so. You know, I think you can do it, especially when you see those types of swings. He was looking for the fastball. He got the changeup. He was way out in front. A good changeup, you can throw it 3 times in a row, don't you think?
Well, you know, the name of the pitch is change of pace, and that's why you like to go back and forth with it. But when it's a good one, you can throw it back-to-back. Full count, 2 outs. He missed with the fastball. Beckham will take the walk, the second walk in the inning issued by Estrada, and that'll bring Kevin Kiermaier to the plate.
Center fielder, number 39, Kevin Kiermaier.
Kevin Kiermaier has been on base all 3 times. He reached on an error in the second and has since had a couple of hits. He had a bunt single his last time up. Two outs. Pulls it on the ground. Smoke takes a nasty hop and flips to Estrada to end the inning. Marco Estrada gets out of it, leaves a pair. We'll head to the 8th. Blue Jays are down by 5. once again is dominant. He gets congratulations from his teammates. He goes 7 scoreless.
He's in line for his 3rd win of the season. He's also had 2 losses. And you look at the quality of the stuff, ERA, he came into this game 5th in the American League. That's going to improve. Strikeouts, he ended up with 7 in his 7 innings. He came in tied for 3rd in the American League. That's going to go up. His slider was dominant once again. His changeup was good. His fastball was good. He's in line after giving up just 2 hits in 7 innings for his 3rd win of the season.
And he's also strung together 26 2/3 scoreless innings. This is Matt Andres. We mentioned he picked up the save on Friday night, a 3-inning save. It was his first big league save of his career. Pompey pops it up, long run for the outfielder Geyer, and it goes off his glove. He may have been distracted by Tim Beckham, the shortstop. They both converged on the foul ball right near the Blue Jays bullpen.
2 very aggressive defenders for the Tampa Bay Rays, and I think you're right. Watch Beckham. This is the outfielder's ball. Beckham's got the angle on it, but Geyer's coming straight in. He views it, and you see him hesitate at the last second there, and distracted, hits off the wrist.
Yeah, he felt the presence of Beckham. He had a good angle on it, and boy, it's tough in the daytime here. This Teflon roof is very bright with the sun outside, and they did a good job of getting to that ball. Pompey hits it to center. Kiermaier was deep, takes him back to the warning track, but Pompey is retired. Chris Archer, shutting out the Blue Jays over 7 innings, allowed just 2 hits, walked 1 batter, and struck out 7. And this is his 4th consecutive start without giving up an earned run. And he's the first American League pitcher to do that since Zach Greinke did it back in 2009 with 4 straight.
And you mentioned his 5th start. It's his 3rd start where he's given up 2 or fewer hits in the time that he was out there. So right now, pretty dominant. That's why I said, how's he lost 2 games already this year?
He lost the last game 1-0 on an unearned run to the Red Sox. His ERA drops to 0.84. Kevin Pillar 0 for 2. We mentioned Andres picked up a save on Friday night. Through the first 17 games of the season, the Rays have had 5 different pitchers record a save. Pretty productive bullpen, and that was a concern coming in, and people not aware of this depth weren't sure how good they were going to be. Pillar strikes out.
Fans, Blue Jays are looking for tickets. If you are, go to BlueJays.com for a ticket pack. Starting from 10 games up to a full season, our account executives will find you the best seats that suit your needs. Go to BlueJays.com and learn all about the great benefits of being a Blue Jays ticket package holder.
2 outs. We're in the bottom or top of the 8th. Bottom of the order, number 9 hitter is Ryan Goins, and that's just barely foul outside of 3rd. Aaron Loup is loosening up. Loup hasn't pitched for a while. You're going into Fenway, a 3-game series with all those potent bats. Probably want to get him tuned up a little bit. Goins is going to drop one in front of the center fielder. A 2-out base hit for Goins.
Second baseman, Devin Travis.
Devin Travis 0 for 3. His hit streak is in jeopardy.
Maybe his last shot right here in the 8th inning with 2 out.
He faced Andres Friday night and flied out to right. Ground ball. Second baseman Forsythe will go to first. Travis is 0 for 4. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. It's all Tampa Bay. They lead it 5-0. Now it's time for Blue Jays Central Update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Song.
Congratulations to our winner who can claim your runs.
Stories. Sign up at nextissue.ca/baseball and get an extended 60-day free trial. Buck, I think you could write a whole book on terrible stories from Blue Jays here at Tropicana Field over the years. They just have not had any luck at all.
They sure haven't, Barry, and I think it's just a testament to what kind of pitching they always deal with in this ballpark. And the Rays have always had good pitching. New pitcher in the ball game for the Blue Jays is Aaron Loup. He makes his 8th appearance of the season.
But first in 5 days. You mentioned that he hasn't worked for a while. It was 5 days ago against Baltimore. He had an inning, gave up a hit and an unearned run to the Orioles, and a chance here to face Tampa Bay in the bottom of the 8th.
It'll be the number 9 hitter and catcher, Rene Rivera. Rivera has gone 1 for 3 this afternoon. To mention that Chris Archer had put together a 26 2/3 scoreless streak. It's actually 26 2/3 without allowing an earned run. In his last start, he gave up 1 run. It was an unearned run when the second baseman made an error that allowed the Red Sox to score the only run of the game.
That's how he lost that game.
Aaron Loup ahead 1-2. And now he strikes out Rivera.
You know, that puts it in perspective.
Now it's time for Drive of the Game. It's presented by the 2015 Honda CR-V, Motor Trend's 2015 Sport Utility of the Year.
Well, we didn't have to go deep into this ball game to get this afternoon's Drive of the Game. Leadoff batter for the Tampa Bay Rays against Mark Burley. Brandon Geyer sends it just out of the reach of Kevin Pillar in center field. The Drive of the Game. And right now, that's the only run the Rays have needed because of the great pitching they've seen.
For Geyer, that's his first career leadoff home run and his first career 4 RBI game. He's had a big day. Boy, Loup got in there with that fastball.
He can do that. He's got that crossfire action like that with that fastball against the righties. If you're looking away, you're looking outside, he can buzz that thing in on your hands.
You'd like Loup to have an inning of work, and you'd certainly love it if he threw about 15 pitches, no more. Then he would be as fresh as possible and available for the 3 games in Boston.
I think there's going to be some time where David Ortiz comes up, and you might need Aaron Loup against him.
Geyer hanging tough against Luke. It's a 1-2 count. Another disappointing trip into Tropicana Field for John Gibbons and the Blue Jays. Look at Geyer just protect that outside corner. Blue Jays are on the verge of losing 21 of their last 32 games here. And when you look at the matchup, you just say, well, Blue Jays, they got a much better team, much better offense, and the Blue Jays just outpitch them every time.
Yeah, every time they make the plays, they come up with the hits that they need, and they've beaten the Blue Jays in so many different ways, on walk-offs, on home runs, on walks, on great pitched ball games. They've also lost just one of their last 23 series against the Blue Jays here, so the dominance continues for Tampa Bay.
That's a good matchup because those pitchers, and Geyer is retired. Two down here in the 8th. Steven Souza Jr., the right fielder. This is Souza's first year here in Tampa Bay. He signed with the Nationals and was acquired in a trade in the offseason.
They've held him down for the most part today. I mean, he had a big series back in Toronto. A couple of home runs, another ball right off the top of the wall.
It's a good loop changeup. Fooled Souza. We're in the bottom of the 8th. Tampa Bay struck early. Got 2 runs in the first inning against Mark Burley. Added a run in the 4th, 2 in the 6th. Blue Jays have been shut out in just 3 hits. Souza's late on that inside fastball. Blue Jays have not played in a shutout game this season. And Luke has a good inning of work. Took just 17 pitches to retire the side in order. We'll go to the 9th. Blue Jays need to rally against Tampa Bay to salvage the final game of this series.
It's after the game. The Rays invite you to run the bases.
Jay's Shop, Eaton Center Level 1, you'll receive a free Dooney & Burke cosmetic bag. Available while supplies last. Go to jaysshop.ca for more.
Thank you, Barry. And we head to the 9th inning. Blue Jays in danger of being shut out for the first time this season.
They haven't gotten a guy to third base yet this afternoon. I mean, that is how dominant the pitching for the Rays, in particular Chris Archer's, been this afternoon.
Isn't it interesting how the game changed in the first inning? The Blue Jays got a 2-out single and a 2-out walk. He was first and second with 2 outs, and they had Archer on the ropes and a chance to break through. Justin Smoke struck out, and then in the bottom half of the inning, Brandon Guyer led off with a home run. They added another run in the first, and they never looked back.
That seemed to ease the tension a little bit on Chris Archer after those 2 runs were scored, and after he got through that first inning, he was squeezing that slider a little bit too hard, overthrowing it at times in that first inning. Walking Encarnacion, but then he struck out Smoke. They scored the 2 runs, like you said. It seemed to ease it up.
It's really interesting that second run in the first inning was a bloop double, and Logan Forsythe looped the ball over the second baseman into shallow right field, went off Travis's glove, and Longoria scored all the way from first with 2 outs. 0-2 to Russell Martin. Foul ball. Jordan Baker said foul, and Martin wasn't quite sure it was foul or not. He looked down that first baseline at the ump. Looked like it had a chance to go over the bag.
Absolutely. All it has to do is catch any part of that bag that sits in fair territory. One more time. Slider down and away, and Russell hammers it to the right side.
Hits this one hard. Beckham knocks it down. That's going to be an infield hit for Russell Martin. Boy, that hit hard, and Beckham tried to protect himself. It handcuffed him at shortstop. They got him on the inside of the leg, and Martin's aboard with a leadoff single.
They hit the ball hard here in the major leagues. That's the one thing you talk to young players as you see this ball one more time really come up on Beckham. The consistency, hard contact, and the consistency of the hard hit ball here at the major league level, you just got to turn your game up a notch.
Quickness of how that ball gets to the infielders and how far the balls to the outfield carry is really an adjustment for younger players. Josh Donaldson is 1 for 3. Donaldson's average at .351. He started out this afternoon's game batting 8th in the American League. He has lost a point on his average.
Tough league. Go 1 for 3.
League.
1 for 3 and you lose points.
Tried to check his swing. He went too far. Devin Travis has gone 0 for 4, and his hit streak is in jeopardy.
A bit surprised about the outfield depth.
But they play deep, don't they?
Yeah. Usually you'll see them in front of that star, if you will, in center field. But Kiermaier has been behind that place in center field all afternoon long.
This is chopped to the first base side of the mound, and Donaldson's going to slide into first, and Andres gets to the bag before Josh. And Donaldson could see Loney. He wasn't going to have a chance to get back at first, so it was a foot race between the pitcher and Josh Donaldson.
One of those balls in between. First basemen are taught to go get it. But when Andres picks the ball up, there's nobody at first base, so he's got to finish it off just ahead of Donaldson. Right there, he touches the bag before Josh can slide across.
Logan Forsythe, the second baseman, tried to come over, but he was late when he got there. The only guy that had a chance to make a play was the pitcher. And they have asked for a review of that play at first. When you look at the pitcher, it appears as though he got to the bag and stepped on the bag ahead of Donaldson. Jerry Mino's the crew chief, indicating the call on the field will stand.
Nothing to lose. Ninth inning, you got to go for it. Try and get a shot, get another base runner.
And when Encarnacion just one hit in this series that came on Friday night, it was a single.
Through the right side. And after that base hit, it was like, okay, Edwin's got that right field stroke down. He's going to start hitting the ball hard. Not a bad idea. Get yourself out of a little rut. Roll a ball through the right side for a hit. They're giving him the right side again.
One and 0, 1 out. When you look at the career batting average for the Blue Jays against Tampa Bay, it suggests that Tampa Bay has good pitching. Coming into this game, Encarnacion with a 206 career batting average. Russell Martin 237. You look at Michael Saunders 187, Justin Smoke 205, Danny Valencia 226. So
those are some pretty good hitters you're just talking about right there.
You know, they're keeping right around 200. Jose Bautista has 22 home runs and a 263 average. But when Jose is right, he hits good pitching.
He hits good pitching, and it's not a small sample size either for a lot of these Blue Jay batters.
Encarnacion, this is his 87th career game against Tampa Bay, and we mentioned his 206 average. Russell Martin 237 in 41 games. Coming in. 2 balls and 2 strikes, 1 out. Top of the 9th inning. It's been all Tampa Bay this afternoon. Foul tip off the catcher's glove, back to the screen.
This is where you want to just scratch out a hit right here. Trying to have a good day. High fastball from Eddie, and he swings hard. Catches that ball a little bit deep in his swing. Upset that he missed that one, but it's a timing issue, I think, for him. You can squeeze out a hit here, maybe get an RBI, and get some momentum heading into Boston.
Ground ball. Martin has to hold at second. Beckham throws out Encarnacion.
First baseman, Justin Smoke.
The Rays have not swept the Blue Jays at home since September 21st through the 23rd, 2012. But this has been a house of horrors for the Blue Jays.
It's just been a rough stop.
Justin Smoke homered against Andres on Friday night. Came into the game as a defensive replacement and homered in his only at bat. He went opposite field, hit one to left field. And Russell Martin will go to third base as they're playing in that shift, and obviously he doesn't mean anything, so he just took the extra 90 feet. Smoke hits it hard, and that's going to lead to a run. Longoria dove for it. It was past him into center, and Russell Martin comes in to score. So the shutout is over.
Shutout is over, and you gain a little momentum with that base hit. Beats the shift. Longoria thinks he has a beat on it. It's just underneath his glove, and then Martin can trot home.
For Smoke, his 6th RBI of the season. Just the 5th hit for the Jays this afternoon. Michael Saunders 0 for 3.
where he's led off those left-handed batters with that fastball in the outside corner every time.
This is chopped towards short. Longoria throws wide of the mark. Saunders is safe at first. Smoke moves to second. It's an error on Longoria. He threw off balance on the run and threw wide of first.
Yeah, his second of the season, and Beckham had a great angle at the ball. You see him coming in. His momentum is taking him over to third base. Excuse me, over to first base. Longoria, his momentum taking him into the outfield. That's a tough play for Longo. It's an error. This is, again, just the 6th error that this team has made all season long, and it keeps the game going.
Dalton Pompey, he doubled in the 5th. Boy, he hits it hard, and that's going to hook foul.
He noticed that Andrews was starting all those lefties off with a fastball away the last couple of innings, so he was waiting for it.
Brad Boxberger has loosened up. Now he's just standing by in case the Blue Jays can keep it going here in the ninth. You never know. You knock one out of here, and all of a sudden it's a one-run game.
Yeah, you get this guy on base right here, and the tying run comes to the plate.
Pompey behind 1-2. The ball game. Pompey strikes out. That's the 26th strikeout for the Rays in his 3-game series. Brandon Guyer got the game off and running. He had a career day, his first career leadoff home run in a 4 RBI game.
And the Rays showed off some big league pitching against the Blue Jays, especially this afternoon. Archer, and then he turned it over to the bullpen. The Rays bullpen has been outstanding this year. Very underrated bullpen. Also, the Rays sweep the Blue Jays. Now the Blue Jays have to recover because they're heading into Fenway Park, where it's always tough.
Tampa Bay wins it. They win the series, and they improve to 11-8. We'll be back at it tomorrow night from Boston. A reminder, coming up next on Sportsnet 1, a Blue Jays special. Dalton Pompey on deck. On now on Sportsnet, hockey, Stanley Cup playoffs, Blues and Wild. And later on, the Canadians and the Senators. We want to thank you for watching this afternoon. We'll turn it over to Blue Jays Central. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn. We'll see you tomorrow night.